Welcome back to the Rising Parent Podcast, the show where we tackle the everyday challenges of raising amazing kids. I'm your host, Tim.
And helping them discover their passions. Hi, I'm Edna.
Exactly, Edna. And today's episode is actually a requested topic from one of our parents. It is also one I think a lot of parents grapple with at some point. Is this the right sport for my child? How do we help them decide whether to stick with it even when things get tough, or to move on and explore other options? It's a tricky balance.
Oh, tell me about it. I've seen so many parents wrestling with this. Do you force them to stick it out? Do you let them quit every time it gets hard? Where's the sweet spot?
Precisely. We'll be diving deep into practical strategies, common pitfalls, and how to foster a healthy mindset around sports and extracurricular activities. So buckle up, parents. It's time to level up your parenting game. So, Edna, let's start with the million-dollar question. When should a child consider quitting a sport? I mean, sometimes it just seems like a fleeting whim, right?
It can be, but I think the first thing is understanding why they want to quit. Is it because they're simply not enjoying it anymore, or is it something deeper? Like, are they being bullied by teammates or having issues with the coach?
Good point. A genuine lack of enjoyment is valid, but we need to differentiate between temporary frustration and a deeper disconnect. I think sometimes kids struggle with the normal ups and downs of learning a new skill. It's not always rainbows and unicorns. There are tough practices, losses, and times when they feel like they're not improving.
Exactly. It's like learning to ride a bike. You fall, you scrape your knee, you cry, but you get back on because deep down you want to ride. If the desire isn't there, forcing them will just create resentment. Think about trying to make me like running. It's never going to happen. I'd rather eat dirt.
I get it. So, how do we figure out what's truly going on? Open communication is key, right?
Absolutely. And not just a quick, did you have fun today kind of conversation. We need to create a safe space where they feel comfortable sharing their honest feelings. Ask open-ended questions. What are you enjoying the most about sport? Or what are the biggest challenges you're facing right now? Really listen to their answers. Put down your phone, make eye contact.
That's such a crucial point. It's easy to be distracted, but being fully present shows them you value their feelings. What about when they say, "I'm just not good at it"?
The dreaded I'm not good enough argument. That's where we can really step in as parents. We need to help them redefine success. It's not always about winning or being the star player. It's about effort, improvement, and learning valuable life skills.
So shifting the focus from outcome to process.
Precisely. Highlight their progress. Remember when you couldn't even dribble the basketball? Look at you now. Celebrate small victories. It's about building resilience and a growth mindset. Think of it like learning a new language. You're not going to be fluent overnight, but every word you learn is a step in the right direction.
That's a great analogy. And speaking of life skills, sports teach so much more than just athletic prowess, don't they?
Absolutely. Teamwork, discipline, time management, learning to handle both victory and defeat. These are all invaluable skills that will serve them well throughout their lives, even if they don't become professional athletes.
Okay, so we've established that understanding their reasons for wanting to quit, fostering open communication, and reframing success are important, but what if you suspect they're quitting simply because it's getting hard?
That's where the stick-to-itiveness conversation comes in. It's important to teach kids the value of perseverance. Sometimes pushing through a challenging period can lead to a huge breakthrough.
How do you balance that with respecting their autonomy and not forcing them into something they genuinely hate?
It's a delicate dance. I think you can encourage them to commit to a certain period of time, say the rest of the season, and then reevaluate. That way they're not just quitting on a whim, but they're also not feeling trapped. It's like saying, let's see this through to the end of the chapter, and then we'll decide if we want to start a new book.
That's a very helpful approach, a trial period of sorts. I guess it's about finding that sweet spot between encouraging resilience and respecting their feelings. And what if you think they're quitting because they're afraid of failure?
Oh, fear of failure is a big one, and it often manifests as I'm not good enough. We need to help them understand that failure is a natural part of learning and growing. It's not the end of the world.
Easier said than done, right? How do you actually help them overcome that fear?
By sharing our own failures. Be vulnerable. Talk about times when you struggled and how you learned from it. Let them know that everyone makes mistakes, and that's how we improve. Normalize it. Maybe even make a family failure night where everyone shares a recent flop and what they learned.
I love that idea. Making failure a learning opportunity rather than something to be ashamed of. What about if you suspect they're quitting because of peer pressure or wanting to fit in with a different group of friends?
That's a tough one because it's often rooted in their social life, which is super important to kids. It's important to understand the dynamics of the situation. Are they feeling excluded? Are they being pressured to do something they're not comfortable with?
So it's not just about the sport itself, but also the social context.
Exactly. It might be time to have a conversation about peer pressure and the importance of making their own choices. Maybe help them find other ways to connect with those friends outside of sports. Or if the situation is toxic, support them in finding new friends who share their interest.
And what about the role of the coach? A bad coach can really sour a child's experience, right?
Oh, absolutely. A coach can make or break a child's love for a sport. If the coach is overly critical, unfair, or creates a negative environment, it's definitely a valid reason to consider quitting.
What's the right approach in that case? Should you try to address the issue with the coach first?
That depends on the situation and your comfort level. If you feel comfortable and safe doing so, it's worth having a conversation with the coach to see if the issue can be resolved. But if you're concerned about retaliation or if the coach is clearly unwilling to change, it might be best to look for a different team or sport.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here, but what if, after all the conversations and evaluations, you still disagree with your child's decision?
That's a tough one. Ultimately, it's their decision. But you can still share your perspective and explain why you think they should stick with it. Maybe offer to help them find a tutor or practice more. But at the end of the day, forcing them will likely backfire. It's better to support their decision, even if you don't agree with it.
So, trust their judgment within reason and provide guidance and support along the way. What if it's a financial burden? Because sports can get so expensive with the equipment and traveling and the lessons.
That is a great point, Tim. I think that's when you have to really have that honest conversation with your child. Explain to them what you are able to do and what you aren't. And maybe you can come up with some creative solutions together. Maybe they can do some chores or get a part-time job to offset the costs.
That would be a wonderful opportunity to teach them about financial literacy, too. I think one of the points we have to address here is, when do you know what the right sport is for your child?
I don't know if there is such a thing. I think you encourage them to sample a bunch of different things when they're young, and then they will naturally gravitate toward what they enjoy.
What happens if a kid bounces from sport to sport to sport?
I think that's okay when they are young, but I think at a certain point, maybe you just need to sit down and say, let's pick one or two things to focus on.
That makes sense. So really, it's all about communication, understanding, and empowering our kids to make informed decisions.
Exactly. It's not about living out our own athletic dreams through them. It's about helping them discover their passions and develop into confident, resilient individuals.
All right, let's recap some of the key takeaways for our listeners.
First, understand the why behind your child's desire to quit. Is it a fleeting whim or something deeper?
Second, foster open communication. Create a safe space for them to share their honest feelings.
Third, reframe success. Focus on effort, improvement, and learning valuable life skills, not just winning.
Fourth, teach the value of perseverance, but also respect their autonomy. Encourage them to commit for a set period of time before reevaluating.
Fifth, help them overcome fear of failure by sharing your own struggles and normalizing mistakes.
Sixth, be mindful of peer pressure and the social dynamics involved.
And finally, if the coach is the problem, consider addressing the issue directly or finding a different team.
That's fantastic advice, Edna. This has been such a helpful conversation.
My pleasure, Tim.
Parents, we hope you found this episode insightful and empowering. Remember, raising confident and resilient kids is a marathon, not a sprint.
And it's definitely a team effort.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the Rising Parent podcast on your favorite podcast platform. It really helps us reach more parents.
And be sure to visit our website at risingparent.org for more great parenting tips.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Until next time, happy parenting!